To generate compassion, we have to diminish our self-centeredness, our self-preoccupation, and how self-centeredness is very linked to attachment, and that when we have attachment and we really want something, we'll do everything that we can do to get what we want, even if it means being nasty and mean to somebody else, even if it means lying and cheating, whatever. When the attachment's very strong, then, we just kind of throw everything else in the wind. Now, then there's anger, Now, anger is related to attachment in the sense that the more we're attached to something, the angrier we become when we don't get what we want, or when we lose it, or somebody gets in our way of getting it. Okay? So we can see the more clingy we are to something, the more our mind is focused on, I have to have this, I want this. Then when something impedes that, we get really angry. Okay? So the anger too is involved with the self-centeredness in that way. So, we can see this very often, because if we don't care so much about something, we don't bother to get so angry about it. Have you noticed that? Yeah. If somebody criticizes somebody else that you don't know, you don't care. Yeah. Somebody criticizes me, it's a big deal. Okay? That's because we're attached to ourselves, but we aren't attached to the other person. Okay? So, when we get angry, the same thing happens too, is that we will break our precepts, we will contradict our ethical principles to, get rid of whatever is interfering with us getting what we want. Okay, or if somebody takes away what we want, then we also get upset. Now, sometimes in looking at these things of attachment and anger, sometimes it looks like we're attached to a certain object and angry because we can't get it, but actually it's not the object so much, it's what that object represents that we're really attached to. So, for example, somebody may give us a gift, yeah, and we may even like what it is, but if it's not real expensive, we may get kind of offended because the cost of the gift indicates in our mind how much somebody cares about us. Yeah, or somebody may have gotten something really expensive, but because they're a good friend and they just didn't pick out what we like, and they should know that, then we get offended and angry, And so it's not so much at the gift as it is the relationship with the person. And we're attached to the person's affection or to their love or to the relationship. And so we get upset. It seems to be about the gift, but it's not really. Okay? So there's many kinds of things like this in our life where we substitute a material thing for what is in fact an emotional thing. So for example, for some people, making a lot of money is important, but it's not that they want the money. They want maybe the prestige that comes with having the money, and that's what's important. Or they want the power that comes with having the money. Or, or for some people, money indicates love. You are too busy to love somebody, so you give them money, or you love them a lot and you express that by giving them money. Okay? So lots of times when we're looking for exactly what it is we're attached to or what we're upset about getting, we shouldn't necessarily just fixate on an external object per se, but ask ourselves what that object symbolizes to me. Okay? Similarly, for some people, let's say getting a promotion, which is not a physical object, but it's a status thing, that may be important to them, not because of the status, but because that then their parents will feel that, oh, I'm as good as my brother, sister, or whoever it is. Yeah, and so I'm finally able to meet my parents' expectation. That may be what they're very attached to, even though and they're not so much attached to the promotion, but the promotion symbolizes parental acceptance. Okay, so there's lots of these kinds of things where we have to look and see exactly what's going on, and then also look at the self-centeredness that's involved. How the attachment makes us greedy, and how the anger comes as a result of the attachment, and how the anger makes our own mind, upset. It makes us say and do things that upset other people. One of the big things we do is that we say and do things that, when we're angry, that bring about the exact opposite of what we really want. Yeah? And that's a big problem, isn't it? Like who do we get angry at? The people we care about the most. Yeah, they did such and such and such, or we think they did such and such and such. And we get angry about it. And what is it we're really wanting at that moment is we're really wanting to be close to them. What are we doing? We're yelling and screaming, or we're withdrawing and not speaking to them. What does our behavior produce? More distance. So interesting, isn't it? We get angry with those people actually because we're wanting to be close, but our behavior pushes them away. It pushes us away, makes everybody unhappy. So all of this comes back to the faults of the self-centered attitude, because we can see that we don't have these reactions of greed and anger, related to things that happen to other people. It's all when something is happening to me, because I just happen to be the center of the universe, the most important one. So that attitude, that self-centered attitude, causes us a lot of problems now, and it really gets in the way of our developing genuine love and compassion. And so for those reasons, it's good for us to become aware of it and start to subdue it. Okay? That doesn't mean we're bad for being selfish. It just means that being selfish doesn't help other people, and it doesn't even help ourselves in the long run. And sometimes the way to get rid of the self-centered attitude is precisely by reflecting on its defects. Yeah? Because it becomes very clear, when we see the defects of something, we don't cling to it so much. So similarly, just by, reflecting on the defects of the self-centeredness, then that gives us the, enough internal strength to say, I'm not going to follow it. It just leads to all those problems. Forget it.